Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. And Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has adopted a new strategy to help Raila Odinga in his campaign. If we have people who are thinking that Uhuru will get to a stage in a rally, maybe in central Kenya or elsewhere, to campaign for Raila Odinga, that will not happen. And there are serious reasons behind this. Because just look on how the life has become so much expensive. You know, the price of basic commodities is skyrocketing. And because of this, if Uhuru will join Raila Odinga in the campaign, then it will create more harm than help. Just the same way, someone like William Ruto's running mate, Rigathi Gachagua, has become of more harm than a help to William Ruto's candidature. So Uhuru yesterday decided to host the religious leaders across the Mount Kenya region in the entire 21 counties for non-denomination worship and a prayer session at State House, Nairobi. And the president used that opportunity to explain to these religious leaders. You know, people will think these were just church members. No, they were all religious leaders. Our my pastors and my bishops. So because of what had gone on and the leakage of those audios we have heard, Ruto explaining how he helped President Uhuru Kenyatta to retain power, Uhuru decided to use that opportunity to respond to that audio because remember, that audio was legit. That was Deputy President William Samuel Ruto communicating. And during this prayer session, President Uhuru Kenyatta has come out clear and clean to say that according to him, he was even ready to go to Ichaweri and leave the power. Because for him, if there is peace in the country, then it is better than him staying on power when there is no peace in this country. And so he has come clear about that. Remember, he was talking to religious leaders, people who have been preaching peace in the country. Secondly, Uhuru responded to the issue of the slap. And as we have heard in the Bible, the president was clear that if someone could have attempted to slap him on one cheek, then he was ready to give the second one so that he can also slap him on the next one. And the reason being, he is for peace and the unity of the country and not for violence and the division in the country. Now, because the president was meeting leaders from Mount Kenya region, the communication there was in Kikuyu dialect. Therefore, I wanted to listen to him shortly because a translation has been done. Then after that, we are going to go deeper into other reasons that the president has not mentioned that was making him to go to maybe Gatundu and take a rest, and the other reasons why William Ruto was pushing Uhuru not to leave power.
Toka 2017 gutiri mundu haha utoi uria wacokire gugithi na tugikinya handu twari hakuhi gucoka 2007 aria me Nairobi aria me kuria kungi mariganitie na nduriri ringi ni moyo uria ndiroiga tulikuwa karibu kufika tena hapo kinya guka gucokera ithurano etiguo na gukiambiriria kinya guku mitaini no guku Nairobi na kundu kungi ukaigua nduka ya mundu ne heire kioski ya mundu ne cinirwo ukaigua hau na hakuire mundu ni kinya kahinda na ne matona ndirigwa ni ona marahora mbica guku no meguthie kuruta mitandao utira na nie ndiaragia itegucokera rucio ndiaragia cia gukana njaragia mayakwa ona ndireiguire kundu kungi kuracamanitio ati gukirwo ati nie ndoigite nie kaba giikare nyinuke Ichaweri ni ma tondu riri nie na hakinyaga handu ngaiga atiri he igite ici tuikaragira itiri bata utire kindu kibata ta muoyo andu ngitura hau ati uge ona andu mangikuwa maye ndikwehera ni gakinyite hau ya kumagia mwaka ucio ndimurie ri tondu njiragwo ni ndakihitirie niguo mwiragwo mugithiuruka na ku ati ni ndendirie kiri njira kana he handu muri mwaigua mbara iria ciaturaga kuu kana ukaigua hau na hathie na munjaru ni ahura ni kuri handu muiguite ni kwageire thayo kinjerei mahitia makwa ni mariku uguo ndikiragwo macio magitwikaga ati nimo matumaga muhure makobi neguo ona mungiahurire ingigire imwe no uyu ungi ndukiringe ringi angikorwo kiu nikio kiragukenia ri oni ndire na nafasi ya ba iri nafasi ya bara na ukigia thayo na bururi ukigia thayo na munjire kana ni kugite kahinda guikarite kwina thayo bururi wa Kenya ta kahinda gaka tukoretwo twinako na ngigeria kumonereria itumi mayuasha.
Now in this video, President Uhuru Kenyatta has been heard clear saying that 2017 general election was almost going to what we had in 2007 general election, 10 years later. And what was the reason why we had election violence in 2007? The truth of the matter is that by then, the Raila Odinga team won that election. But the Tarakanidhi thing came into play, and that's how the victory for Raila Odinga was stolen. And people were not happy. That is what caused violence. So we had violence in this country because of stolen election. So come to 2017. Why was Maraga able to nullify that election? And why did NASA succeed in the petition against announcing the President Uhuru Kenyatta as the winner? What Uhuru did not tell these people, and of course he could not tell, because you know when you take an oath of office, there are some secrets you cannot give out maybe after 20 years or later. There are reasons why he cannot tell this. But what he did not tell these people is that they lost 2017 general election. The leaders who have an inner eye can understand. That's what Uhuru was telling these people, but indirectly. They did not win 2017 general election. And for him, he was looking at the situation that I did not win this election. And therefore, should I remain on power and allow people to die because of violence in this country? Or should I leave power? Because of that, he was ready to go home because he knew, and his conscience was telling him that it's better you let the person who won election take over. Uhuru was ready for that. But his deputy was not ready to allow him go home. So that's the thing President Uhuru Kenyatta is saying here. And according to William Samoei Ruto, he said that he could not allow the president to go home. Remember when Ruto was saying this, Ruto was saying in a rally, that will make people happy. But now the president was explaining this to the church, a place where they preach peace. So according to William Ruto, for him it was that they can use every means possible to make sure that Uhuru is retaining power. The reason behind this was that Ruto knew that the only way he can make to power is if Uhuru was going to win this election, because he had promised him yangu kumi, ya Ruto kumi. So the Ruto kumi was going to happen if Uhuru was going to remain in power. And so the issue was not to help Uhuru just remain in power. The issue was to secure his yake kumi after Uhuru Kenyatta. And to prove this point, for those who remember, Ruto sometimes back, he said very clear that when Uhuru was running for office in 2002, they knew that through Moi, he was going to perform some magic and make sure that Uhuru is winning and not Mwai Kibaki. They even still believe that Moi was going to do a magic to make Uhuru the president, despite the fact that Mike Beck was winning that election. I wanted to listen to this audio shortly, then we continue with this conversation to tell you the kind of William Samoei Ruto and how he can use power to take even what it is not belonging to him.
Unajua 2002 rais mstaafu alituambia hajawahi kushindwa na tutashinda uchaguzi wa 2002. So kila mtu ambaye tulikuwa wafuasi wa KANU siku hizo tulikuwa tunaamini haiwezekani tutashindwa namna gani. Moi akiwa pale ite haiwezekani, lazima kuna namna, kuna mbinu fulani kuna namna fulani itafanyika hapo mwisho, alafu tutashinda. Tumeketi hapa leo, mahali sisi tumeketi hapa, tulikuwa tumeketi hapa 2002, TV ilikuwa kona hapo. Sasa tunaangalia hii TV tunaangalia TV, tunaona sasa hii hesabu imeharibika kabisa. Lakini watu hawakuamini, bado walikuwa tu na imani. Sasa mpaka jamaa mwingine anaitwa Sirma tulikuwa tunaketi naye hapo, kaniuliza, na hii TV Moi anajua vile hii TV inaso, ama mbona hii kitu itabadilika namna gani? so kidogo bado tunangojea miujiza ifanyike. Rais mstaafu mwenyewe akatoka kwa hiyo mlango iko hapo, akasema okay, tukasimama. Akaniuliza, wewe William, wapi Uhuru? Kumwambia ako nyumbani. Akasema tafuta yeye, ita yeye na muanze kutengeneza statement ya kuconcede. Sasa so mimi nikaenda hapo nikachukua hotline nikapigia Uhuru.
Now there is one thing that President Uhuru Kenyatta understands up to date, and this could be the reason that has informed President Uhuru Kenyatta to religiously support Raila Amolo Odinga and make sure that Raila is winning this election. Remember when we were facing election in 2017, even 2013, the issue here was that we had a country that was going into an election when it was divided into two. And the division here was on tribe and leadership. So it was two tribes against the rest, two against all. And this two was Kikuyu and Kalenjin against the other more than 42 tribes in this country, where we have had power revolving between Kikuyu and the Kalenjin communities. So it was a time Kenyans were saying that it's high time we get another tribe into power. And why were they saying this? There was an element of stolen election where Raila was robbed at least twice. So they were believing that it's time to allow other community to get to power through the ballot. So people were agitating for this. And when Raila was robbed in 2017, it reached an extent now, people were openly discussing about secession. There was a feeling in this country that there's no way another tribe will get to power. It is going to remain between Kikuyu and Kalenjin. Because now, after even Uhuru was installed for the second term in office, already Ruto was there preparing himself to take over after Uhuru. So that was going to have a continuation of the status quo between Kikuyu and Kalenjin. So they were going to lock the window of having another tribe to getting to that power. Because of this, people were feeling it's better we secede so that we leave Kikuyu and Kalenjin to remain and form their own country, and the other remaining tribes can form another part of the country, have our own currency, have our own system of government, and move on. That was going to lead to chaos in this country. People were going to fight. And of course, what happened in Sudan could happen in Kenya, where now we have the South Sudan and the other one. So Uhuru knew this and did not want the country to go into that direction. He did not want this to happen when he is in power. And because of that, the only way to stop this is to have someone else who is not a Kikuyu nor a Kalenjin becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya. So if you stole election from Raila Odinga, the best thing to heal this is to allow him at least once to win this election. That is the mind Uhuru had, and that is the direction he's heading to. But for William Ruto, he had a different idea, to get to power using every means possible, even if it is through rigging. And by the way, the only way Ruto could have become president was through Uhuru Kenyatta doing what happened in 2017 with the system. You rig. And maybe the country could reach a boiling point, a situation which Uhuru was not ready for. So that is the distinction between Uhuru and William Samoei Ruto. One person agitating for peace, and another person ready here to use every means possible as long as he will get to power. So the religious leaders have agreed with President Uhuru Kenyatta that it is time. They are going to use even the churches to plant a sense of direction in this election so that they can make an informed decision on ballot, rather than using the rumors that Ruto has been selling in rallies and the ill campaign he has made against President Uhuru Kenyatta. So he has explained Ruto was not ready for peace, but for him he was for peace. That's why he talked to Raila Odinga. I don't know what to think about this, but that's my view. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to me up this far. May good God bless you, and see you in our next video.